Hello and welcome back to Song Surveys on Sofas with Superheroes, the sub-series. So this week we're doing an old school song because last week we did a newer song. I've seen this band live a couple times and they are fantastic. One time when we were at Warped Tour, the lead singer, unbeknownst to the rest of the band at the end of the show, just ran through the crowd off the stage and just never came back, and the band was like, so I guess we're done now. But yeah, really great live show, and the last time I saw them I was really hoping they would play the song that I'm going to talk about, but they did not. So if they come back out again, I would love them to play the song. So the song I'm going to talk about today is called This Is All Bigger Than Me. And I really like the song because it's kind of a story. It definitely has that story vibe and kind of goes in that order of a story. And yeah, so let's get into it. The very beginning sound is just like a simple guitar, but they kind of make it seem like you're putting a record on, and it's like kind of has that warped sound. So I really do like that. I think that was an interesting choice, and every time I hear it, I think, ooh, the song is on. And I really like the fact that it kind of sets up for the story vibe, because it's like, yeah, it's definitely like the beginning of something. So I do enjoy that was the choice that they went with, and I think that was a smart choice to use that sound. So the first verse, the music doesn't really change a ton. They just like have a pretty simple guitar to begin the song, and then they have the bass come in when the lyrics start for the first verse. And I really like it because the first verse is like a legit introduction, which again kind of gives that story vibe. So the lines are, "Hi, hey, how are you? I think I might explode." And I like the line, "I think I might explode." It's super open to interpretation, so I really like what's going on. But also I think the fact that it comes right after that, "Hey, how are you?" is interesting as well, especially because I feel like a lot of times, sometimes people just ask like, "Hey, how are you?" "Oh, well, I'm doing blah, 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 blah." So I like that they kind of like, is this person that desperate to share what's going on in his head that he's like, "Oh, hey, how are you? But, oh, wait, by the way, I just want to let you know that this is what I'm thinking and this is how I'm feeling." So I really like that. I think that was a great way to introduce the lyrics to the song. So then after that, the first verse describes finding a box with two notes, and they each say different things. And the first one is, "You might succeed," and then the second one is, "You'll ruin everything." And I really love that because I think a lot of times in life we kind of give ourselves those two options. Like, if I make this change, if I make this decision, if I do this thing, I might succeed, but honestly, probably I'll ruin everything. So there's never like that option of, look, things are gonna go great and it's gonna be awesome and it's gonna be so wonderful. And I think we really tend to underestimate ourselves in that sense. So I think the fact that they kind of addressed that was wonderful. I think it was a really good choice, and I think it definitely again enhances this story part, right? So you like could maybe do okay, but then also like just the word succeed in general. So just because you're succeeding, especially the way that they said you might succeed, doesn't necessarily mean that's going to be a good thing or happy. It's just success, and whatever that means for that particular choice. And then also the alternative is you're going to ruin everything, which I think that was really smart, and it definitely adds to the story of the song. And I really like those two choices, and I think they did a really nice job, especially because it kind of like gives that feel of a little bit of like hopelessness. And I think that was an interesting choice for sure. I really like the lyrics, and they just go well together, and again it definitely adds to like the story aspect of it. So then it's like really fantastic. So when the music changes into the chorus, it doesn't really change that much. There's definitely some more instrument added, and it is a fuller sound. They add some oohs and ahs, but it still holds that simple guitar, which again I really love. And I love it because this song is a story, and the music makes it such a story, and they do such a good job with starting with this super simple, adding something that still keeps it super simple, going into the chorus and not changing it terribly a lot, but still adding. So the story goes from the start and just continues. There is no point in the song where it goes back, and I'll talk about that a little bit later when we talk about the second verse and the second chorus. But yeah, so I really love the lyrics of the chorus. The whole chorus is kind of about trying to impress somebody but not being able to really get anywhere. And so the line I really love is, you want them to like all the things you've said. You're still talking backwards and off your head. And I know this is like, might seem a little bit silly, but I love the fact that they actually said the word said and then used the word talking. So I like that because it wasn't just you want them to like you, they want you to like what you do, they want you to like, you know, your attempts or what you're trying to do. It's specifically about what you said. And I think that is important because it definitely adds this sense of the things that you're doing wrong, right? But you're still talking backwards and off your head. It's like you want them to like it, but you're still doing all these things wrong in that same vein, right? Like, so you want them to like the things that you're saying. You want them to like that you're talking backwards and talking off your head, but you're still doing those things that are not necessarily a desirable quality. So I think those lyrics were a really good choice, and I do really like that part of the chorus. So after the chorus, there's like an instrumental part that adds instruments before the second verse. And what I love about the second verse is they do not change the music. So once this instrument is added, it continues to be added. And then the second verse just starts. So there is no going back to the first verse. There's no going back to keeping the music simpler like it was in the beginning. And I really, again, especially because this song is a story, I really love the progression of it. It doesn't put you back to the beginning. It's a story. It starts and now you're in the middle of it. The second verse is definitely shorter than the first one. And I really love the first line in particular. It says, "I'm sorry for thinking." And again, I like it because it's definitely open to interpretation. I personally, in this song, interpret it as him being sarcastic. Like, oh, sorry for thinking, right? Sorry that I'm not fitting into this little box and then I'm like actually, you know, going out of the norm and kind of having my own ideas and not, you know, sticking to whatever you're trying to be. So I do really like that, but also if it's genuine, I'm sorry for thinking, it definitely sparks some interest as to, wait, what do you mean you're sorry for thinking? Thinking about what? Thinking about things. But again, in this particular song, I do think he's being sarcastic, especially given the message of the song in general, the story in and of itself. So up to this point, I haven't really mentioned this, but in the chorus, he talks about corporation and wanting to see it die, which I don't love the word corporation because I like to think of the song as person to person. So when you add the word corporation, now I'm thinking, okay, this person is somehow related to a business, which again kind of takes the element of like that human part of it out for me. Still love the song. And again, corporation is now, in my opinion, becoming more important because we'll talk about the end and the lyrics at the end. But what I do like and find interesting about the second verse is that last line is, "I watched them all while they burned it down." So again, you definitely are taken out of that person to person element and now thinking about like, okay, like some sort of business or group or something like that. So it's not just about the person, it's now about something that person is involved in, which is fine. But what I do think is interesting in that last line in particular is the pronouns choice. And that's going to definitely become important for the end of the song, in my opinion. So the pronoun for that last line is them. So again, it goes right into the chorus. Not a lot of music change, which I think was a really good choice because this is a story, right? So they just keep kind of going. And so then at the end of that chorus, there's an ah that is held, and at first the music doesn't really change, but then it just becomes this like significantly heavier music, and it is just so fantastic. I love this music change. The instrumental part is just so well done, and it definitely allows me personally to just like be in a totally different place. It takes me into the song, it pulls me into the story of the song. I'm, you know, able to imagine all of these things, especially given what the song has already said to us lyrically and musically. I think they really do a great job. They definitely like allow me to kind of imagine and kind of be in the song itself. So I really love the instrumental part. It's just such a great build up, and it really is so fantastic. I really really love that that part of the song. I think they did a great job with the instrumentals, and it's like just so good. If anything, I wish they had made it longer, because I can stay in that world for a little bit, you know, an extra second or so. So really like that part of the song in particular. Really takes you out. But a lot of their music does that, but in this song in particular, especially because it's such a story, it's very good. Okay, so this is where the pronouns come in. So they go back into the chorus, and again, the music doesn't change. So this is all, you get this buildup of music with this instrumental part, and instead of going back to one of the previous choruses music, you still have this heavier, more full sound into the chorus. And I cannot tell you enough how many times that was such a good choice, because this song is such a story and you don't go back. You are moving forward. And I think that was a really great choice. So they hold the last word of the chorus. And then this is where the pronouns really come in. So there are 3 lines after the last time they sing the chorus. So I hope it dies is the first one, which is a partial repetition of the last line of the chorus, with a little bit different. And then I can't wait to be there. And then this is like really where it hits you. And I love also how they sang it too. And I kind of butchered it, but I purposely am waiting. Okay, so I hope it dies. I can't wait to be there to see you. And then they hold it. And then they say the word burn. And it's funny because although burn is, I guess, the word that they were focusing on, in my opinion, I think the word you is more significant. I think the fact that it's now changed from this corporation, this group, this outside entity, you are now then coming back into the personal you. I hope it dies. I can't wait to be there to see you burn. Not it burn, not them burn, you burn. And again, like this then takes you back to the fact that they burned it down. They were the ones who destroyed it. So I think the use of pronouns was fantastic. I really like that this story kind of takes a turn for the dark in a way. I hope the corporation dies. And you're like, yeah, corporations, you're so terrible. And then it's like, yeah, man, they were the ones who messed it up for themselves. And then all of a sudden it's like, I want you to be the one, like, to suffer. So I think it was just like an interesting choice. And again, this is a story. And I think that they did a great job telling it, especially when you have this idea in your head of like, okay, yeah, he's like definitely against the corporation and, whatever this person is still significant somehow. But then really at the end, it's like the singer is just kind of like, you know what? No, this is not how it's going to go. I want you to be the one to like have to deal with this because of the choices that you made. Definitely an interesting way to end the song. Twist might not be the right word, might be a strong word. But I think it's definitely interesting. And the word burn is held. And then the music kind of drops, and then there's like this crescendoing which is, again, an interesting choice because you think, okay, well, if a song's going to end, shouldn't it decrescendo? But this is a crescendoing and I really love that because it like then just cuts off, but it makes it seem like the story's not quite done yet. Like there is more to it. So I really think that was a great choice, especially given the fact that at the beginning, right, you kind of set up this story vibe, and then the music throughout, the instrumentals just takes you through this journey and does not go back, which I know I've said it like 20 times, but I love the fact that they do that. I think it really enhances the song and definitely just allows you to be in the story, and it allows you to be taken in and really enjoy the experience for what it is. So yeah, I love the song, and this band is super underrated, and I was so glad that I got to see them a couple years ago in New York, and I really hope that they come back, and I would love to see this song live in particular. But let me know what you think. Comment, like, subscribe. Am I crazy? Do you like the song? Have you never heard of the band before? So yeah, I will see you guys next week with a newer song. Bye.